Choose your character.
Perspective Reports. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Perspective Reports. Today, we have a Thanksgiving special. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's get it started. So, when you think of Thanksgiving, you probably think of three things: turkey, football, and that one uncle who insists on talking about politics before the appetizers even hit the table. But if we zoom out, like way out, Thanksgiving isn't just a dinner. In the business world, it is the ignition switch for a $1 trillion economic bomb. You heard that right, trillion with a T. According to the National Retail Federation, the holiday corridor that starts on November 1st and ends on December 31st is forecasted to generate between $1.01 and $1.02 trillion in retail sales for the first time in history. But here is the fascinating part. Thanksgiving itself doesn't actually make that much money. It's a loss leader. It's the setup. The research shows that the Thanksgiving holiday functions as the psychological and commercial trigger for the entire fourth quarter. It creates a 5-day panic buying blitz from Turkey Day to Cyber Monday that accounts for nearly 40% of all holiday gift spending. Without this Turkey Thursday, the entire engine of the Q4 economy doesn't really start. So today, we are going to look under the hood of the Thanksgiving economy. We're going to talk about the turkey price paradox, why your eggs might be from Brazil this year, and how a uniquely American holiday accidentally conquered the world. Let's dig in. Happy Thanksgiving and gobble till you wobble. First, let's talk about the feast. If you walked into a grocery store this year, you might have noticed something weird. The math just doesn't add up. We call this the 2025 price paradox. On one hand, you have the data showing the cost of a traditional dinner is up by 7%, reaching over $61 on average. But on the other hand, the American Farm Bureau is saying costs are down by 2 to 3%. So who is lying? Well, neither. It depends on what you're buying. Here's the secret. The turkey, the star of the show, is actually cheaper at the retail level this year, down by 6% from last year. But that is a mirage. The wholesale cost of turkey, what the grocery store pays, actually skyrocketed by up to 75% because of supply shortages. So why is it so cheap for you? Well, because retailers like Walmart and Aldi are eating the cost. They are using the turkey as a massive loss leader to get you in the door. They know if they sell you a cheap bird, they can hit you with massive inflation on everything else in their stores. And I mean massive. Processed sides are where they make their money back. Jellied cranberry sauce up 45%, stuffing mix up 14%. But the biggest story on the table isn't the turkey, it's the eggs. We are in the middle of a massive avian influenza crisis called bird flu. You might have heard of it. It has decimated U.S. flocks, bringing the turkey population to a 40-year low. But it also wiped out the chickens. Domestic egg production collapsed so hard that the U.S. government had to authorize emergency imports. This year, if you're baking a pie, there's a good chance your eggs came from Brazil, which sent us 222 million eggs, or Turkey, which is Turkey, which sent us 111 million eggs. We literally broke our own food supply chain and had to outsource the ingredients for America's most traditional meal. Now, while we are eating our Brazilian eggs and discounted turkeys, the rest of the world is digesting something else, our shopping habits, which is probably no bueno. There is a common misconception that Thanksgiving is a global holiday, but it's not. The financial markets in London and Tokyo are open today on Thanksgiving Day, at least the time of recording this. But while we don't export the turkey, we did export the chaos. The research calls this the cultural export of Black Friday. Historically, Black Friday was purely American, but look at the timeline of adoption. In 2010, Brazil officially adopted it. In 2013, Amazon and Walmart pushed it into the UK. By 2014, it hit Germany. Today, over 50% of the countries on Earth participate in Black Friday. It has completely decoupled from Thanksgiving. In Europe, they don't eat the turkey, but they do wait for the sales. In the UK, shoppers now explicitly hold back spending in October just to wait for this American invention in November. So, while Thanksgiving is the trigger for us, it has become a global ritual for retail, powering the trillion-dollar forecast we talked about earlier. Talk about manufactured scarcity. But who is actually spending this money? In 2025, we are seeing a massive generational split, and it leads us to the Gen Z paradox. If you ask Gen Z how they are doing, they'll tell you they are broke, and the data backs it up. This generation is cutting their holiday budgets by a staggering 23% this year, 2025. However, this is the paradox. They are allocating nearly 40% of that shrinking budget to self-gifting or self-care. They are buying fewer gifts for others, and they are treating themselves. So how are they funding this? 2 words: new debt. We are seeing the mainstreaming of buy now, pay later, or BNPL services. 50% of all shoppers plan to use BNPL this holiday season. It's not just for buying PlayStations anymore. 25% of people are now using these loans to buy groceries. Think about that. Huge bubble. But here is the danger zone. For Gen Z, this is becoming a debt trap. Reports show that 51% of Gen Z users have missed a payment on these loans. So we are having a holiday season fueled by a generation that is cutting budgets, buying for themselves, and financing it with high-interest installment loans. That is a fragile foundation for a trillion-dollar economy, not to mention student loans and, well, everything else that Gen Z already has to deal with. So, sorry guys. Now, I want to take you behind the scenes to the boring stuff that actually makes this whole machine work. Logistics. So fair warning, click off now if you don't want to be bored, but hey, you made it this far. And specifically, a boring legal term that is causing chaos this year: de minimis. For years, a loophole allowed packages valued under $800 to enter the US duty-free. This is how companies like Shine and Temu flooded the zone with cheap goods. But on August 29th, 2025, the US government effectively killed that rule. Thank you, tariffs. The impact was instant. DHL Express reported a 32% drop in US-bound volume immediately after the rule changed. This is a systemic shock to the supply chain right before the holidays. On top of that, we are in a freight recession. There are too many trucks and not enough goods, which sounds great for prices, but it has driven smaller carriers to bankruptcy because they have nobody to deliver to, because nobody can afford it. Now shippers are stuck with the big giants like UPS and FedEx, who charge premium prices, who are slapping on massive peak season surcharges to protect their margins. So if your package is late, or if that cheap item from overseas suddenly costs 20% more, you can thank the death of de minimis and the 2025 logistics squeeze. So let's wrap this up. The research concludes that we need to view these holidays as a symbiotic machine. Halloween is the pre-game, priming you. Thanksgiving is the ignition. It's the social trigger that concentrates 39% of our spending into a crazy 5-day sprint. But Christmas is the engine. It's the sustained global marketplace that runs for weeks and keeps the lights on for the logistics industry. Together, they form this massive, messy, debt-fueled, trillion-dollar corridor that keeps the economy afloat. So when you sit down for dinner this Thursday, Thanksgiving, remember, you aren't just eating a bird, you're pressing the start button on the global economy. Thanks for watching. Go check out our Halloween video, or the business impact of Halloween, and look out for the business impact of Christmas. So, thank you so much. I'm thankful for all of you. Happy Thanksgiving, and have a great rest of 2025. Now go past the potatoes before inflation hits them too.
You're watching Perspective Reports. Your world strategized.